All right, good morning, everybody. So we've talked a little bit about anxiety, what it is, and how to recognize it. We also talked about thought stopping, which is it's an actual technique to stop the anxious thoughts and reframing them into something positive. And so for this lesson, the third lesson, we're going to talk about preventing our anxiety from getting out of control, long-term prevention. Okay, so there are two general times we work on managing anxiety. So the first is before we feel anxious. So this is kind of the day-to-day techniques that we use to maintain a level of calm in our lives. Okay, this is you hear the word self-care all the time. Okay, so this means we spend more time doing relaxation techniques on a regular basis to keep your everyday anxiety at a lower level. So this is the prevention part. And I notice it's a bigger box. And the bigger box is intentional because this is a daily practice. This is a huge part of how we become less anxious, is by working at it day after day. And the second piece of this is that at the time when you feel your anxiety level rising. Okay, so it's in that moment, like, oh my God, it's coming, So this is why it's so important to be able to recognize when you're feeling anxious. So that means that you perform a relaxation technique in that moment to help you calm down and manage that current situation. And this is the intervention part. So the prevention helps us throughout, our day-to-day. And it makes it easier to intervene when our anxiety is at a higher level. So both of these parts are extremely important. There are several techniques that you could use to try to prevent that anxiety from arising. Okay, so we talked about thought stopping last episode. Last lesson. The thought stopping is kind of more of an intervention, right? You're in the moment, and how do you stop it from getting worse? Is like you stop your negative thought and you reframe it to something positive. That is an intervention. These techniques here are more of the prevention side. These are things that we do day to day that would help us throughout, that would help us just maintain that low level of anxiety on a regular basis. They could also be used as interventions in the moment. They're more likely to be used as interventions if it's something that we're used to doing, right? If we're doing something every day, it's going to feel more natural when you do it in the moment, and it's going to work better because it's just your body is more connected to that technique. Okay. So some people don't take the time to practice relation techniques before they are feeling anxious. But like, think of your teeth, right? Like you do not wait until you get a cavity to start brushing your teeth, right? It's the same idea. It's the prevention. So most of us brush our teeth regularly so we can prevent the cavities from forming. So it's the same way with anxiety. Okay, so breathing. So when you're feeling anxious, you might notice that your heart rate that goes up, your breathing gets a little bit faster, right? So you might begin to feel like sweaty or dizzy, lightheaded. So when you're feeling anxious, getting your breathing under control can relax both your body and your mind. So to be preventative would be to do these techniques daily so they come easier to you when you need them. So I meditate every morning. It's something that I've tried to keep as my daily preventative techniques for anxiety, okay? I know that's not everybody's jam. I get it. Okay, but that's an option. And sitting quietly, and some people like, listening to podcasts, like a little quiet music and just sitting and breathing. Whatever it is, taking 5 deep breaths through the nose, out through the mouth, that's huge, okay? That's a great skill to have, because in the moment, if you need to calm your body down, it'll be to intervene. Breathing is to me is the most useful way, okay? When you think of visualization, I kind of talked about this a little bit ago, about just like, the finding your happy place expression. Okay. The painting a mental picture. You can be on that island, lounging in the lounge chair. Okay. So these are things that can help. This can help you feel relaxed and actually calm your brain and body as well, by visualizing a calmer place or calmer scenario. Relaxing your muscle. So the muscle stress can make your anxiety more difficult to manage in the moment you're experiencing it. So by relieving the stress in your muscles, you can actually reduce your anxiety levels. So that's something that's like a mindfulness thing, right? If you're tense and you're doing this, that's gonna bother you later, right? So it's checking in with all of your muscles and okay, I'm tight here. I'm gonna relax this. Maybe you clench your fists, relaxing those muscles. Okay, those things will help with anxiety. Counting, relax by counting. So it's a simple way to ease your anxiety. When you feel anxious when you feel anxiety like washing over you, find a quiet and comfortable place to sit, close your eyes, and slowly count to 10. You can repeat this to 20, you can go higher, you keep counting until you feel it reducing or subsiding, okay? Mindfulness, staying present, is the practice of being present in the current state and surroundings gently and without judgment. Staying present can help you create a calm state of mind. And you can feel when you feel your thoughts racing and the anxiety building, all of these techniques can help with that. So these are the things that I'm thinking of, like encouraging you to do on a regular basis. Also use it in an intervention when you need it, but if you're doing these things regularly, again, it's going to come more naturally. It's going to be easier to do when you need to do it. So what techniques can you try to prevent from anxiety arising? Just wanted you to take a minute. For me, again, I like to meditate. So staying present, being mindful, there's a lot of different techniques that come along with mindfulness. Sometimes it's just mindful eating. It's like instead of scrolling on your phone while you're eating your breakfast, is being mindful about what you're eating, how it tastes, how it feels. And that's a help that's a way of being mindful in the moment. Okay, so there's many ways you can be mindful and stay present. And that is my go-to. That is the thing that I connect with the most. I encourage you, if you want to know more about any of these techniques, please come see me. We could talk about it for days. Okay. Okay, so write something down in your journal. What techniques can you try to prevent anxiety from arising? If your teacher would love to share their story, what works for them, that would be great. Take some time, write, share out. Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good day.